I wouldn't do this, but this guy's having lunch. He's on the outside. Oh my God. Bah. Bone Daddy too. Mike. There you go. Oh, he's up in the corner now. Somewhere. He can't get in here, so I'm happy. But he came down, grabbed one of these bugs, and then took off. Well, sat for
money. I'm okay with this.
There you go. Oh, we're at Lincoln Field Station. That all was trees before. Now there's nothing. This here was all field and some trees, tall, like up past our ankles, and now it's all this. At least they haven't touched those trees over there. Hopefully they don't. It's part of an old orchard, I understand. But all the way along this transit system that we just came from Algonquin, they've cut down trees. They have devastated the green space. It's absolutely disgusting. And all for this crappy crap. Not happy about it. We used to come through here when we were going to Mud Lake, Botanic Conservation. It's not that far, just the other side of those apartment buildings. We missed our 87, and then like we just pulled up behind it on our other bus, and it pulled away. And then we just get here with another bus that we can take, and the 85 pulled away. But Canadian flags over there. The people are waiting for the snowbirds. That's our aerial team. Hubby and I seen them when we were waiting at Algonquin, but off in the distance. From what we were hearing on the bus, it sounds like they went over a mall that's a few blocks from here. We passed it on our way to work when we were on the bus, Westgate Mall. So, there you go. Wind's getting a bit cooler. Oh, Canadian flags. Oh, there's a Ontario flag up there. See the Ontario flag up on the top floor. It's not waving now, of course. But it's wrapping around the pole. But some people went out and got flags. There's even a message. Oh, for sake. There's even a message on when you're on the transit coming here, a great big banner saying thank you essential workers. So well, I'm gonna phone and see how much longer we gotta wait for this other, oh, that's a crow, for one of these two buses to show up. That's it for now. Okay, hi everybody. White Witch 110 here. I am losing my mind tonight. Just thought I would let you know. I was going to do paint pour for you. That went horribly wrong. Doesn't even describe it. Let's put it that way. So that won't be done tonight. That video, as short as it was deleted. I started reading a couple of historic haunts, and I was sure that I had read them to you before, but I can't find them in my binder, although I only look quickly. So I have to get organized. That's for sure. I need another binder. That's what my problem is. I was keeping everything in a binder. All of the facts and information that I've given you, the stories I've written. And now, because that binder's full, I've just been placing them in behind it. And now everything's a mess. But the sun is shining here. Yay! So maybe we're not going to get the rain they were talking about, or the snow. So, this lovely building in front of us here, as you can see up in the corner, is McKay Avenue School in Edmonton, Alberta. The building was completed in 1905. It was designed by architect Henry Denny Johnson. This was the same year Alberta became a province of Canada. In 1906 to 1907, the third floor was used by the Alberta Legislative Assembly. See? Oh, man. I'm a hurting unit tonight. Holy mackerel. Oh, boy. It is now Edmonton's Public Schools Archives and Museum. The school is also the site of the Anne Frank House Traveling Exhibition. It is the oldest brick schoolhouse in Edmonton and is a heritage building. The spirit of a construction worker is seen in the building. He fell from the roof in 1912. Visitors claim to have a feeling of being watched while in the school. A preservation technician described to an interviewer how items mysteriously moved on their own. Also, it wasn't uncommon for him to hear strange noises when alone in the building. The technician and a co-worker were setting up chairs on a top floor one day. Leaving the room for only a few minutes, they returned to find the chairs scattered within the room. No one else was in the building. He also reported lights turning off and on. Also, taps would be found running when they had been turned off. Alarms within the building have gone off for no reason at all. This gentleman has been using a Ouija board to contact the spirit. It had told him he was a construction worker who fell from the roof. Now, whether this gentleman had prior knowledge of this, I don't know. An investigator to the property requested the spirit make a noise directly after a hammering sound was heard. The spirit has opened drawers and scattered their contents. Okay, I can't find the picture I had before. But this here is the Princess Theatre in Edmonton, Alberta. The theater opened in 1915 on March 8th. It seats 422 people. It was designed by Wilson and Harold. It is the oldest surviving theater in Edmonton. There is a second theater located in the basement that will hold 100 people. The theater was originally known as the McKernan Block, after John McKernan, original owner. From 1958 to 1970, it was retail space. From 1970 to 1976, pornographic films were shown here. And from 1978 to 1996, a successful repertoire theater. In 2016, it became owned by Plaza Entertainment. The theater cost $75,000 to build in 1914, and the projection booth is fireproof. 1916 rental apartments were constructed in the upper and lower floors. A female spirit is seen in the building and is believed to be a former tenant. The woman was jilted by her fiancé only days before their wedding, and she was found hanged in her wedding dress. Both patrons and staff have reported a white figure on the grand staircase. She has also been seen wandering the halls and hovering near the projection booth. Now, Mr. McKernan passed away in 1919, and I find it strange that there have never been any reports of his spirit on the premises. Our next location is the Ukrainian Cultural Heritage Village in Alberta. It is known as an open-air museum demonstrating the lives of Ukrainian pioneers from 1899 to 1930. It opened in 1974. Many of the buildings have been moved to this site. Restoration of them has taken place here. Costume performers stay in character at all times. Any questions to them will be answered as if it were 1899. This allows visitors an amazing experience. There are homes of 3 families who immigrated to Alberta on the property. One is from 1906, another 1919, and yet another one 1920. Archaeological dig findings allowed for reconstruction of 1900 temporary shelters dug into the ground. That would be this one here. There are 30 buildings on the grounds. Some of them are Alberta Lumber Company Office, 1907 to 1910, Hillard Hotel, 1928, Radway Livery Barn, 1927, and Wostock Hardware Store, 1937 to 38. The apparition of a wagon has been seen on the grounds. It is pulled by a team of silent horses. They say the driver is looking for workers. Lights are reported to be seen within the buildings and grounds. Footsteps are heard in empty buildings, and visitors claim to hear whispers and phantom cries coming from an empty cradle. People report being watched and catching glimpses of faces in windows. A spirit is known to be seen wandering throughout the site among the buildings. This next location is Fairmont Hotel McDonald in Edmonton, Alberta. It was built by the Grand Trunk Pacific Railway. The building was completed in 1915. It was designed by Ross and McFarlane. There are 11 floors, 198 rooms, and 1 restaurant. It was designated an Alberta Historic Site on November 27, 1984. In 1953, the hotel was expanded, but in 1983, that expansion was demolished. In 1988, the hotel was restored and opened in May 1991. The complete cost to build was $2.25 million in 1915. Guests staying on the top floor report hearing horses clip-clop and the sound of carriage wheels on the roof. It is claimed that in 1914, a horse used to bring concrete to the foundation dropped dead. Horses are also heard galloping in the 8th floor hallway. A guest in an executive suite reported a 1913 sailor sitting in his wingback chair smoking a pipe. A room on the 6th floor is known to have phone calls made. When the manager checks, there is no one in the room. Workmen on the 6th floor found a room locked from the inside. When it was broken into, they found it empty. 2 staff members working nights, upon hearing music from the 50s, they checked their radio for the station, but the radio was not on. Now for the story. While in the garden, Joshua makes himself known to Clara. He explained he's been observing the beast from a distance. There are indeed 20 in total. They have gathered by the old grist mill on the other side of the forest. He informs her there does not seem to be any hurry. The creatures are very lethargic. Have you heard their plans? Joshua tells her unfortunately no. The cryptids sleep soundly all day in diffuse sunlight. Happy memories of the past century are dreamed of. Clara made note she hadn't heard crickets in a week. Stopping to think about it, neither have I, Jerry agreed. It is dusk, and the creatures wake. They feast upon replenished supplies invisible to our eyes. Eat, eat, my family. The time creeps slower and closer. I felt someone near last night, but when I woke there was no one there, his sister tells him. I felt nothing. I would have woken if someone were close. I think you were dreaming, he scolds. The female creature does not press the facts. She knows for certain there was a visitor in the early morning. Her brother always had intimidated her. This night, she branched off, made her way to the river. Alone, except for the wind, she began to speak. Carry this news to my uncle. My brother will not listen. We have a spy among us. Hearing the crack of a branch, the creature became silent. Telepathically, she calls out. Without thought, Joshua answers. Show yourself to me, or I will call my brother. Not wanting the tyrant to join, he cautiously materializes. Her eyes open wide, and her heart was soon taken. Her large eyes flirt with him. She motioned to him to follow. Quietly, they weaved their way along an overgrown path. At the end of this path was a mid-sized cottage. Though it was the view before them that took his breath away, a deep pool of ice-blue water. Joshua could not see the bottom. Its depth so vast it turned black. Full-grown trees had fallen in. Even at their height, they did not break the surface. What is this place? He inquired with a smile. A safe place, she replied. Turning from the secluded grandeur before him, he spoke. What do you mean by safe? And how can you be trusted? If I had wanted you dead, although technically you are, I could have done it already. My brother has waited for you. I know, and I will now thank you. It has been a century at least. Yes, it has. I never expected to find you here, her voice so humane. It is my duty to seek closure. You've understood this? Softly she agrees. This space is for them. They will be unharmed here. You will appreciate they will conceivably not use it. Their neighbors matter to them. She downturns her gaze. Woeful, they will perish. Back at home, we must learn an avenue around these creatures. Master a way inward, Jerry vocalizes. It had been a handful of days since Clara had contact with Joshua. He isn't answering. Try as she might, there was no connection between them. Is she attempting contact? She is attempting contact, Joshua informs the cryptid. Answer her. No, now is not the time. I think we'll leave it at that for this evening. I'm writing on these so I remember distinctly what ones I have and haven't read. So that's it for tonight. Something quick. I hope you've all had a pleasant day. Our day started out a little on the cool side, then it got nice and warm, and then it got nice and cool. We're all hoping for no snow for tomorrow or Saturday. We're really hoping that it just goes somewhere else, or the path just poof disappears for this polar vortex. Right now it looks nice out, although south of us it looks just a little dark. I'm picking the pieces of glue off of my desk here. Yeah, so I'm just glad we didn't get the rain or the snow yet, or not at all. So, as I said, that's it for this evening. Hope you have a great rest of the night. Have a good tomorrow. To my loyal subscribers, thank you very much for joining me again. Although this was scattered, I was not in any way at all organized when I thought I was. But this happens. Yes. So thank you for stopping by and putting up with it. Anybody passing through, it is not always this disjointed. Just this evening for some reason. But do check out other videos I have. You may find something that interests you. And if it does, please consider giving it a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and sharing it out. Or if there's something else that you come across that you think someone you know might be interested, by all means, do share it out. While you're here, consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, click on that notification bell so that you'll know when I upload. And as always, ciao for now.